Alright, so I'm going to go over how to add and subtract your radicals. So we already simplified and we multiplied, so today we're going to add and subtract. So you should have this worksheet. I'm going to do a couple of these problems with you. Make sure you write them down. Before I do that though, I'm going to go ahead and explain something here, kind of help you out. So before, if I had a problem that said 2x plus 4x and I had to solve this, we would combine our like terms. You had 2x and a 4x, and so that would give us 6x. Okay, and same thing if you had a 3y minus a 5y. Okay, they're like terms because they both have a y. 3 minus 5 is negative 2, and you're combining like terms, and those are your y's. If you had something like 2x plus 3y, you couldn't do anything to that because they're different terms. Okay, this is an x, that's a y. You cannot combine those terms. This is going to apply with the worksheet that you're going to do today. So we'll start with number 1, and like I said, I'll do a couple of these. Let me see if I can get this back over here. All right, here we go. Number 1, we have 3 square root of 6 minus 4 square root of 6. You have a square root of 6, you have a square root of 6. Okay, same thing as saying you have an x and an x. These are the same thing, so we're going to subtract the outside. 3 minus 4. When you do 3 minus 4, you get a negative 1. And then we just have the square root of 6. Okay, so your next step would be to simplify whatever you can in the square root. Well, 6, the only two numbers are 2 and 3. Okay, there are no pairs that I can pull out of this, so the square root of 6 is going to stay as the square root of 6. Now, instead of writing, though, the 1, your answer would be just negative square root of 6. Alright, number 2. We have negative 3 square root of 7 plus 4 square root of 7. So you have a square root of 7 and a square root of 7. Those are your like terms. So on the outside you have a negative 3 plus 4, which is just 1, and you have the square root of 7. If you try to simplify this, 7 is a prime number because the only numbers that go into 7 are just 1 and 7. And then you can keep repeating yourself and waste time. It's a prime number, so you don't even have to worry about doing your family tree. So your answer here would just be the square root of 7. Right, number 3. We have negative 11 square root of 21 minus 11 square root of 21. Okay, again, you have your like terms. You have square root of 21 and square root of 21. So we're going to do negative 11 minus 11. Negative 11 minus 11 is negative 22. And then you have the square root of 21. Okay, see if you can simplify 21. Well, the numbers that go into 21 are 3 and 7. Both of those are prime numbers. There's no pairs that I can pull out. So your answer here would just be negative 22 square roots of 21. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and skip down to number 8. So number 8, we have negative 2 square roots of 3 plus 3 square roots of 27. First thing you should notice is that your square root of 3 and square root of 27, those are different numbers. So what we have to do is see, can I do something to this 27 so that I can get a square root of 3 and combine them? So first we're just going to focus on the square root of 27. 27, my two numbers that can go into 27 are 3 and 9. My two numbers that go into 9 are 3 and 3. So what we have is 1, 2, 3, 3. So I'm going to do my square root over here off to the side. 3 times 3 times 3. I have a pair of 3's I can pull out. So write it down, cross it off, and all I have left on the inside is a 3. Okay, this right here is what the square root of 27 reduces down to. So I'm going to rewrite my problem. I have negative 2 square roots of 3 plus 3 times, okay, we just reduced the square root of 27 into 3 square roots of 3. So you have negative 2 square roots of 3 3 times 3 will give us 9. So 9 square root of 3. And now you have your like terms. You have a square root of 3 and a square root of 3. Since this number is the same under the square root, we can go ahead and add. So negative 2 plus 9 will give you 7. And then that's 7 square roots of 3. You don't add the number underneath the square root, okay? This right here, what I was talking about earlier, okay, let me just write this off to the side. Maybe this will help you a little bit. This is like negative 2x plus 9x. Okay, they're like terms. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7, and that means you have 7 x's. We don't say 7x squared. We don't say 7 2x, nothing like that. You're combining your like terms. Same thing here. Square root of 3, square root of 3. So we're combining my square roots of 3's. Negative 2 plus 9 will give you 7. All right, go ahead and I'll do number 9 for our next one. So we have 2 square roots of 6 minus 2 square roots of 24. Okay, so let's start with this 24 because these are not like terms. This will be like an x and a y. We can't combine them right now until we can get this into be a square root of 6. So let's start with 24. Two numbers can be 4 and 6. So that's 2 and 2, and that's 2 and 3. Okay, so I have 2, 2, 2, and 3. So I'm going to do my little square root. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Nothing left. Go ahead and pull out whatever you have, your doubles. So there's a 2, write it down, cross it off. And all I have left is 2 times 3. Okay, so if I simplify this, I get 2 square roots of 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, and again, this answer right here, that's not your final answer, that's just a part of it. That's only reducing the square root of 24. So I'm going to rewrite this. I have 2 square roots of 6 minus 2 times, okay, well we just reduced the square root of 24 to be 2 square roots of 6. And now we're going to go ahead and simplify. 2 square roots of 6, negative 2 times 2 is a negative 4, square root of 6. Since now we have the same number under the square root, we can go ahead and combine these. So 2 minus 4 is a negative 2, and we have the square root of 6. Right? Let's see. Next one that I'll do will be, we'll do number 10. So number 10. Okay, we have 2 square roots of 6 plus 3 square roots of 54. Okay, so we already know 6 cannot reduce, so I'm going to leave that there, but I'm going to focus on this 54. So this is the first thing we're going to focus on, square root of 54. So I need two numbers that when I multiply will get me 54. And I can go ahead and use 6 and 9. 6 would be 2 and 3. 9 is 3 times 3. So here are my prime numbers, 2, 3, 3, and 3. So I'm going to do my square root. I have 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. Look for your pairs. I have a pair of 3's. Write it down, cross it off. So all I have left inside the square root is a 2 and a 3. So that's 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6, so we have 3 square roots of 6. Okay, so again, this answer right here is just square root of 54 simplified. So what we're going to do now is we're going to rewrite this. We have 2 square roots of 6 plus 3 times. Okay, square root of 54 reduces down to 3 square roots of 6. And if you need to write in two different colors today to help you with this, you're more than welcome to. So if you want to use like a pen and a pencil or two different colored pencils, whatever the case is, if that helps you out, then go ahead and do it. So we have 2 square roots of 6. 3 times 3 is 9, so we have 9 square roots of 6. Since we now have the same number in the square root, we can go ahead and add these together. Pretty much the same thing as combining your like terms. 2 plus 9 is 11, so we have 11 square roots of 6. And that will be your answer. Okay, go ahead and do number 12, and then we'll do a few more on the back, and that will be it. So number 12, we have 3 square roots of 3 minus the square root of 27. Okay, well, we already know 3 is a prime number, so if I tried to do my little family tree with that, there's nothing I can get out of 3. 27, though, we're going to go ahead and focus on this one, just the square root of 27. So here's 27. Two numbers that multiply to get me 27, we can do 3 and 9. Two numbers that get me 9 are 3 and 3. So my prime numbers are 3, 3, 3. So we have square root of 3 times 3 times 3. Nothing else left. Look for your pairs. I have a pair of 3's. Write it down, cross it off. Square root, I have a 3 left over. Okay, so this right here is what the square root of 27 reduces down to. So now I'm going to rewrite this. I have 3 square roots of 3 minus, okay, whatever I got my little bubble, which would be 3 square roots of 3. Okay, this right here is equivalent to saying 3x minus 3x. Okay, well, you have 3 positives, you have 3 negatives, so this is just going to give you 0. Same thing here, 3 minus 3, that's going to give you 0, so your answer here is just 0. Alright, so I'm going to do 3 more on the back, and then you'll finish this up. So on the back side, they get a little bit harder. They look harder, I should say. They're not that hard. We'll go ahead and do number 13. So number 13 is the first one. 3 square roots of 8 plus 3 square roots of 2. Okay, so you have to look at what you have underneath the square root. We have an 8 and we have a 2. This 2 you can't reduce, so we're going to go ahead and focus on just the square root of 8. Don't worry about the 3 for right now, just focus on the square root of 8. So I have 8. Two numbers that go into 8 are 2 and 4. Two numbers that go into 4 are 2 and 2. So I have 1, 2, 3 2's, so I have the square root of 2 times 2 times 2. Find your pairs, write it down, cross it out. The only thing I have left is a 2 and the square root. So the square root of 8 reduces down to 2 square roots of 2. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this. I have 3 times square root of 8 is 2 square roots of 2 plus 3 square roots of 2. And now we're going to reduce it. 3 times 2 is 6, so I have 6 square roots of 2 plus, and then I just have 3 square roots of 2. Okay, I have the same number in the square root, so I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. Okay, 6 plus 3 is 9, so I have 9 of these things called square roots of 2's. And that's your final answer. Alright, next one I'll do is number 19. Okay. Don't let it overwhelm you. I know you see a lot of different numbers are in the square root, but we're going to break it down and we're going to do piece by piece. Okay, so now is the time to have good colors. So I'm going to go ahead and do square root of 18 first. Okay, because none of these are the same. I can't combine anything. I got to break it down. So 18 is going to be my first number. So for 18, I can do 2 and 9. For 9, I can do 3 and 3. Okay, so I have 2, 3, 3. So this is square root of 2 times 3 times 3. Here's my pair of 3's. Pull it out. Cross it off. All I have left is a 2. Okay, so that's 3 square root of 2's for my square root of 18. So if you want to, we can rewrite this 3 times 3 square roots of 2 plus 3 times. So now let's go ahead and look at the square root of 12. So for 12, my two numbers that go into 12 are 3 and 4, 2 and 2. So I have 3, 2, and 2. So 2 times 2 times 3. Cross all those out, which I forgot to do over here. Okay, what I have is a pair of 2's. Write it down, cross it off. All I have left over in my square root is a 3. So the square root of 12 reduces down to 2 square roots of 3. So that would be this part. Okay. Plus 2 times, now we have to do the square root of 27. And we already did the square root of 27. That was just on the last problem that I did. So to help save some time on this, let's make it, there we go, square root of 27. That actually is 3 square roots of 3. And we just did that on the other side. So if you need to flip back over, you're more than welcome to. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our final answer. So 3 times 3 is 9. So I have 9 square roots of 2. Plus 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 6 square roots of 3. Plus 2 times 3 is 6. 6 square roots of 3. Okay, think of this as saying 9x plus 6y plus 6y. You're going to combine your like terms. Well, if you look, you have a square root of 3, okay, and another square root of 3. So we can go ahead and combine these two. There's no other square root, or 9 square roots of 2. There's no other square roots of 2. So we have 9 square roots of 2. Plus, we're going to go ahead and combine these. 6 plus 6 is 12, so we have 12 of those square roots of 3. And that's your final answer. Alright, last one that I'm going to do is number 25. Okay, so we have negative square root of 45 plus 2 square roots of 5 minus the square root of 20 minus 2 square roots of 6. Okay, so first we're going to focus on the square root of 45. So I'm going to write down 45. Two numbers that go into 45 are 5 and 9. Two numbers that go into 9 are 3 and 3. So I have 3, 3, and 5. So my square root, I'm going to put 3 times 5. Pull out your pairs of 3's. So I have 3 square root of 5. And that is what the square root of 45 simplifies to. So we have negative. Okay, square root of 45 is 3 square roots of 5. Plus, I can't simplify this right here, so I have 2 square roots of 5. Minus, now we're going to focus on the square root of 20. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and write down 20. I need two numbers that when I multiply will get me 20. We can do 4 and 5. 4 is 2 and 2. So 2, 2, and 5. So that's square root of 2 times 5. Pull out your 2's. So you have 2 square root of 5, since those are gone. And that is what the square root of 20 simplifies to. So over here, square root of 20, we'll put minus 2 square roots of 5. Okay, and then again, we have minus 2 square roots of 6, and we can't reduce the 6. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. Look under the square root, whichever ones have the same number, you're going to combine. So I have a negative 3 square root of 5, I have a positive 2 square root of 5, and I have a negative 2 square roots of 5. Okay, this dude back here is just going to hang by himself for a little bit. When I add this up, negative 3 plus 2 minus 2, we end up just getting negative 3. And what we're combining here are these square roots of 5's. So all of those are gone. And then we're going to go ahead and bring down what we had left in the back, and that's just going to be minus 2 square roots of 6. So this right here will be your final answer. Negative 3 square roots of 5 minus 2 square roots of 6. Alright, and so that is it. So there are a couple more problems left for you to do on this page. Alright, and then when you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and turn that into the sub. The next day you're going to be reviewing, and then you have a test on block day. So make sure that you ask questions, go see a teacher, any of the other algebra teachers.